Have you ever really thought about how we learn about the world? Not just facts and figures, but the very structure of it all? Today, we're going to look at what seems like just a random pile of pages from an English textbook. But what if I told you that hidden inside is a complete blueprint for an entire universe? Let's see if we can piece it together.
I mean, that's the big question, right? If you had to build a reality using only words and simple pictures, where would you even start? We're going to try to work backward here, reverse engineer this thing, and reveal the blueprint piece by piece.
Okay, here's our first clue. Seems simple enough, right? It's a postcard from a grandmother. But this one little sentence does a lot of work. It establishes a specific place, Dubai, and a specific time, Saturday. It's like a pin has just been dropped on the map. But what else is in this world? And bam! Just like that, we're somewhere completely different. We've jumped from a family vacation to, what, a law of the natural world? A shark is longer than a fish. It's a statement of fact, a rule. But how on earth does that connect to a trip to Dubai? The plot thickens. And here is our third piece of this very strange puzzle, a personal internal feeling. Someone feels sick. So let's recap. We've got a place, a law of nature, and a human feeling. Right now, they feel totally disconnected. But this is exactly how a world begins, with all these scattered fragments of reality.
So how does this world building actually get going? Well, before you can have any rules or societies, you need a foundation. The very first step is to populate this new universe with people, places, and, things to do. And just like that, a whole cast of characters starts to appear. We've got a mother who's cooking, a father on the computer, a little sister playing. We meet Tony, who's out walking with his family. And get this, Grandma and Grandpa are tech-savvy enough to send emails. These aren't just names, they're people, and they're being defined by what they do.
So where do all these people live? The blueprint starts to sketch out their world. It begins at home, maybe in the living room or the garden, but it expands fast. There are holidays to the beach or mountains, and even big international trips to see museums in Dubai or Big Ben in London. It's a world that's both very local and surprisingly global.
So what do people actually do here? Well, life is full of activity. They play team sports like football. They go swimming when it's warm. These simple verbs, playing, swimming, walking, they aren't just random actions. They're the building blocks of daily life. They're what gives these characters a purpose.
Okay, so we've got people, places, and things to do. But a world full of stuff isn't enough, right? That would be chaos. It needs order. It needs rules. So the next layer of the blueprint is all about introducing the systems that make reality make sense.
One of the first things this world does is impose order. And here's a great example. The animal kingdom gets split neatly into two clear groups. You've got your domestic animals, the ones that can live with people, and then you have your wild animals. This simple act of putting things into categories is a fundamental way we're all taught to make sense of the world.
And how do you understand the relationships between things once you have categories? Well, you compare them. This little table is basically the grammatical engine that creates order. See, something isn't just long, it's longer than something else. A giraffe is taller than a horse. This system of comparatives builds a hierarchy, a ladder of meaning for everything.
And here we see the blueprint putting it all together, connecting a rule to a real example. On one side, a wild animal, the tiger. On the other, a domestic one, the cat. And the text explains their relationship using the very rules we just learned. The tiger is faster and stronger. The cat is smaller and can live inside. And just like that, an abstract idea becomes totally real.
And sometimes the rules are just wonderfully specific and memorable. It's not just a general principle being taught here. It's presented as a hard fact of this universe. Gorillas are smarter than monkeys. It's a fun little piece of trivia that also, sneakily, reinforces that whole system of comparison.
So the world is populated, and it has physical laws. What's next? Well, how do you actually live in it? The blueprint now provides a guide to society itself. The scripts and the roles you need to know to function with other people.
And here are the pillars of the community. Every society has these key roles, right? The doctor helps you when you're sick. The teacher helps you learn. The fireman saves lives, and the policeman stops crime. Everyone has a clear job, a clear function within the social machine.
But it's not enough to just know the roles. You have to know how to interact. And this is a social script. How do you buy something? You follow this exact dialogue. It starts with, "May I help you?" And you respond with, "Yes, please." This is literally the code, the script for how to shop.
And the script can even get a little more complex. What do you do if the price is too high?
The blueprint actually teaches you to negotiate. That's expensive. How about 30 pounds? Think about that. You're not just learning words, you're learning the subtle art of haggling.
Here's another key social setting, the restaurant. To navigate it, you need to understand its structure, starters, main courses, drinks. The menu isn't just a list of food, it's a cultural map, a guide to a very specific social experience. See, ordering food isn't just about satisfying hunger, it's about following a ritual.
Up until this point, this world, well, it can almost be anywhere, couldn't it? It has families, animals, shops, but every blueprint has a designer, and every designer leaves a fingerprint. Now it's time for the final reveal.
And there it is. With one simple sentence, the entire world just snaps into focus. This was never a generic blueprint. It's a blueprint for a world centered right here. All those pieces that seemed so random before, the trips, the food, the weather, they were never random at all. They were all pointing here the entire time.
Look closer at the details. The summers are hot and sunny, perfect for the swimming we heard about earlier. The autumn is windy. Farmers need wet weather for their crops. This world has the Syrian desert in the east and the Euphrates River in the northeast. Those general rules of nature we learned, they now have a very specific local context. This is the cultural fingerprint.
So here's the big takeaway. When you learn a language from a textbook, you're not just learning vocabulary and grammar. You are being handed a blueprint for a reality. You're learning what a family looks like, what matters to a community, and what the weather is like in one very specific corner of the globe. And that leaves us with one final question to think about. All those stories and rules and facts you learned when you were a kid, what were they a blueprint for? What kind of world were they quietly building for you?